hello and welcome to the latest podcast right here on the two-man power trip. I am your host, JP John Poz. With me, of course, the former WWF head writer, the former WCW head writer, the former WCW World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Vince Russo. Vince, how you doing?
Hey, John, turn to the side for a second. I want to see your profile. The other way. Wow, a lot of gray you're getting there, bro, huh?
Crazy, yeah.
John, how old are you now?
42.
And you're getting that kind of gray at 42?
Yep.
Wow. That's the stress of the wrestling business, bro.
Yes, I also blame my wife as well. A lot of stress.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. A lot of stress. Are you? What are the G-men looking like this year?
Ooh, I don't know. To be honest, I'm a little nervous about the season. I know everyone's saying they're going to be horrible, so I'm hoping that means they are motivated to kind of fight against the critics. But I don't know. I'm not very confident. Their quarterback, Daniel Jones, isn't that great. Their secondary is not that great. I'm not that confident going into the season.
Oof. Wow. So you're saying it could be a long season?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Just like last year, which was a long one. Yeah, could be.
Very long. Yes. Yeah.
So as far as today and the topic at hand, we're talking about SmackDown #1, all the way back in April of 1999. So it's interesting. There's technically, I guess you could call it a series opener, or whatever you want to say. It's like the first episode. Technically, here in April, SmackDown starts up again in August. So it's just one show here, taped April 27th and aired on April 29th on the UPN network. They bill it as the return to network television for WWE. Why tape here? Almost give you, I guess, like a sample of what SmackDown's going to be, and then the real show launches in a few months, basically 4 months down the line.
I would think, bro, they were experimenting with it. They wanted to see what the how it would be accepted. I'm assuming that's why they did it. Even though, bro, like I said, man, when I was told that SmackDown was now going to be a weekly show, I think you mentioned in August, like, I didn't even know that, bro. Like, Vince totally caught me by surprise when he was telling me about that. So I don't know if, I thought this episode was just like an experiment to maybe, do something on UPN. I mean, I don't know, bro, but all I do know is, fast forwarding to August, I had no idea they were even discussing a second show.
Man, isn't that crazy for the writer of the show not to know?
Bro. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Yep.
What's the whole point, though? Is it because of WCW Thunder? They have their show on Thursday nights. You guys are going to create a show for Thursday night as well. Is that literally just or you guys are so hot they want you for another show? Or is it maybe a mix of both?
I think it's definitely a combination of the both, bro. Bro, listen, man, the WWE has no doubt, when Raw went to 3 hours, they bastardized their product. No question about it, bro. But they will take the money every single time. Whatever money is put on the table, man, the WWE is going to take. So, whether UPN, put the money up on the table, whether they wanted a second show because there was Thunder, whatever the reasons were, bro, I'm sure it was probably a combination of both.
When you look at it, obviously, eventually, SmackDown becomes so popular that Thunder goes off of Thursday night. So, I mean, obviously, it's a good idea, and it does work, but you're saying it's just it's too much. Too much.
Bro, the way Ed and I wrote the show, it was too much. The way they write the show today, all they're doing is booking matches, really. So right. All they're doing really now on TV, they're house shows. They're just house shows on television. So, I mean, if that's the way you're going to book the television, that's fine. But, man, the way Ed and I were writing back then, man, it was going to be a task.
So it's going to be at the New Haven Coliseum, New Haven, Connecticut, for this specific episode. TV rating 5.8, so huge rating.
That's crazy. That's nuts.
UPN must have been like, okay, this is a nice little sample here. We got to have it for August. This is huge. Yeah. UPN, do you think that great network? Like, what do you think about UPN? Because it is what it is. It's not like a huge network, but it's good.
Yeah, no, well, I think back then, bro, definitely because it was newer, there was a lot more buzz around it, back then. I think it was more popular back then. But bro, network television is network television, bro. I mean, whatever way you could get on it.
The commentators, by the way, for this show, Michael Cole and Jim Cornette. So maybe trying to be a little bit different for SmackDown, but interesting that that's kind of the announce team. Was that always going to be the announce
Well,
team, or
what was the announce team when it officially started?
oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to watch that episode. I don't remember. Would think it would be Cole and Lawler. I would think, but I'm not sure.
I don't know, bro. I don't know if you want to go see that. Thinking the way Vince does, bro. I don't know if you'd want to go on network television with, Cornette was just so Southern. You know what I mean? I don't know if that was the plan and if that was going to be permanent. But knowing how Vince thinks, I think he would take that into consideration.
So as far as SmackDown is concerned, the name is that literally from The Rock? He obviously says I'm going to lay the SmackDown. They literally just take it from The Rock,
Pretty
and
much,
that's
yeah.
that's the idea for the show. Is that yours, Vince? I mean, who decided to call it that?
That was probably Kevin Dunn and the guys at TV. They probably came up with it and then bounced it off of Vince, and Vince approved it.
Crazy, still going today. Obviously, it's their
Yeah.
most popular show today. But funny to think, like if The Rock is just saying catchphrases, they take his name for a catchphrase, and boom, it's the name of a show
That's how
for
DX
25
started.
years.
DX started the same exact way, bro. That it was just a poster. It was a creative services. They came up with that for a pay-per-view. And the same thing. I saw that and I'm like, wow, bro, that's really good. And that's how DX was born.
The whole kind of surrounding storyline with this episode is the crucifixion, if you will, of Stephanie McMahon. That happened before, and this is kind of the afterwards of what's going on and building up around that crucifixion angle. No sort of, I guess you could say heat, I guess, for the networks or anything. Did you guys get in trouble or anything for doing that angle? Was it okay with the
Yeah,
network?
no, bro. I remember the only one who gave me a problem doing that angle. I'll never forget it, bro. Was the late great Bob Ryder, bro. Bob
Whoa.
Ryder tore that apart. Whatever. What was it? Pro Rep PW Insider. Whatever Ryder was doing at the time, he literally ripped it apart. But bro, I got to tell you, man. A couple of things. Like, first of all, I was not a Christian at that point. Okay. Being a Christian now, like I will, I would look at it a little bit differently. But bro, back then it was never we were doing a crucifixion angle. That was never it. That was never discussed. That was never brought into play. It was clearly, that was the Undertaker symbol. It wasn't a cross. It was the
Yep.
Undertaker symbol, and the Undertaker was sacrificing people. So, like, that was never even discussed, brought up. The network didn't have a problem with it because, again, bro, that was the Undertaker symbol. This is how he was going to sacrifice people. Now, of course, being a Christian guy today, when I look back, I'm looking back at that a little differently. I don't know if I would do the same thing today, but that was never part of the discussion, bro.
What about Stephanie herself? Who's deciding that they want Stephanie on television and going to make her a part of the show? Is that all Vince?
That's me, bro. 1000%.
Whoa, okay,
Oh,
interesting.
absolutely. Yeah, Vince is not, bro. Vince is not going to suggest a family member. Vince wouldn't have suggested himself. Vince would never suggest a family member. Didn't suggest Shane. That has to come from somebody else. Vince is never ever going to make that suggestion.
Why did you want Stephanie? You just thought it'd be a great
Oh
storyline
yeah,
just to
bro.
kind of
Back then, she was like an innocent little child. I mean, that's when we're not talking about the Stephanie McMahon of today. We're talking about the big doe-eyed, innocent little Stephanie McMahon. She just for that role, and what we were doing, like she was the perfect one to fit that. Absolutely.
it's crazy to think like That's she's starting out and she's immediately in a storyline. You know what I mean? It's just like she's in the main event storyline around Steve Austin, Vince, who's trying to be like a baby face, and the Undertaker, who's going to sacrifice her and everything else. I mean, you guys just literally threw her right in.
Bro, I'm telling you, wrestling's in their genes. I mean, the way Shane picked it up, the way Stephanie picked it up. I mean, I guess a lot of that has to do with they were around it for their whole lives, always watching it and always seeing it and being around the wrestlers and being at live shows that, man, bro, it was second nature to them. There was no producing them or telling them what to do. They knew what to do.
So as far as the actual show, to recap the storyline that's going on, they play a video as the show starts. Undertaker, Vince, Stephanie, Steve Austin, the whole storyline, the sacrifice. Vince is basically acting like a pure baby face. That's daddy's little girl. Thank you, Steve Austin, for saving. You're the only one that could help me. So it's all wrapped around Vince and Steve Austin, but kind of using Stephanie and Undertaker as well. Obviously, a few weeks later, we're going to find out that it's all a ploy by Vince. But here, he's pure babyface. You know, he's very sympathetic. Thank you, Steve Austin. Really just recapping what's going on. But something's up with Vince. I don't know if I quite trust him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's
but
a
also
babyface.
keep in mind, bro, when you're watching this show, the plan was not for Vince to be the higher power. When you're watching this show, that doesn't come till way later on when he sees Christopher Daniels and asked me if I was freaking high. So at this point, Vince is not the higher power. That's not how we're writing the story.
In your mind, when Christopher Daniels is thought up as the higher power, why though? Like, you're just going to give this guy a big push because
Yeah.
you
He wa-
basically like him.
he
He's a young guy.
he was hot on the indie scene. He had that, evil look. I had never met him before, bro. Bro, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Christopher Daniels and I like never got along. And if I knew Christopher Daniels, I would have never in a million years suggested him for the part because I would have known it would have been 2 weeks. The way he was, bro, and the way he carried himself, he wouldn't have lasted 2 weeks with Vince. I didn't know any of that. I didn't know him from Adam. I just know he was very hot. He had a good look. I like the idea of a smaller guy. It's always like, that's the 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒 guy. It's always
Yeah.
a smaller guy. But if I would have known how he was, I would have never ever suggested him.
Yeah, that is true. Koresh and like Charles Manson, but these guys are small as hell, but somehow
Yes.
they're like mentally controlling
Yeah,
people.
Don
Yeah.
Callis, I mean, that was the model, you know what I mean?
Although if you look at Don Callis today, he's bigger than most of the guys. I mean, him standing next to the Young Bucks, he looks like a giant. You know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
crazy. That's nuts. Yeah.
Not back then, but today he
Yeah,
looks like
yeah,
he's one of the bigger guys. Yeah,
yeah.
which is nuts. So obviously, like I mentioned, Cole and Cornette ringside commentary. It's funny. Michael Cole again brings up we're back on broadcast television. For some reason, Vince must have been that's like the instruction or something that you have to mention you're back on broadcast television. I don't know why, but
Oh, yeah,
I guess
well, yeah,
makes it
I mean,
sound more grandiose. It's like a huge
yeah,
big
yeah,
deal.
I think that was a big deal to Vince. I think Vince always wanted to get back on networks. I think it was a big deal.
At this point, Vince is a babyface. So him and Stephanie come out to the ring. No music. They just kind of come out. He's pure babyface. He cuts a promo thanking Steve Austin. Stephanie actually cuts a pretty good promo thanking Steve Austin, but really kind of getting into it, almost acting like Vince, where she's like, "I'm so disgusted at the Undertaker. He was trying to touch me, and I don't like. He's uncomfortable. Like you could tell, like she just acts like him. Very,
Yeah.
when Vince makes like those weird faces and stuff, like
Yeah.
you could tell, he's
She's
like
got
watching her.
this. I always bring this up, bro. There's so many pictures out there. When she smiles and does the scrunchy nose, like she's got the worst freaking phony looking smile I've ever seen. When she's got the big teeth and
Yeah.
oh my god, when I see those pictures, I get frightened for a second.
She was at SummerSlam, by the way. I don't know if you saw that or not. She was at the pay-per-view. So she was at WrestleMania.
I
She's at
think I saw
SummerSlam.
that. I think I saw a clip of that.
gave CM Punk like a 2-minute hug, like for whatever reason. I
A
was like,
Tony
wow, I
Khan,
didn't.
a Tony Khan hug.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
surprised. Yeah, she was loving CM Punk. They were obviously they were talking and whispering each other's ears, but I was like, wow, I didn't realize Stephanie actually liked the Punker that much. That
I
she
guess.
actually was.
I
Yeah,
guess. Who knows?
wonder if she's going to make her way back in. Triple H says there's no official position for her, but he wants her back in WWE in
Yeah.
the fold.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. I would love to be on a fly on the wall with the dichotomy of that whole family right now. Like, I would love to know what's really, really going on.
Yeah, because on Dynamite they were teasing Shane McMahon again, like that
Yeah.
he's going to be on AEW. So it's like, oh my god, imagine that. Throw in the mix. Like, what does Triple H and Stephanie think about that? What does Vince think about that? Like, crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy, bro. But we'll see how it plays out.
So during this promo, Shane comes out. He's got the No Chance in Hell music. So he's pretending he's in charge of the show. That's his music now. He's got his Titantron video. He comes out with the corporation. He makes Stephanie and Vince leave. They're uncomfortable. Then on the Titantron, Undertaker appears and he has a promo talking about the match later on the night, which Shane mentions a little bit before. It's Triple H and Undertaker versus Steve Austin and his arch nemesis, The Rock. So it's the biggest tag team main event in
Wow.
WWE
Big
history.
main event. Yeah.
It's how they're building it, so it's huge. But we don't know what's going on with Undertaker and Triple H because the corporation's in the ring and Undertaker's cutting a promo from the Tron. So it's almost like teasing some dissension there, but we'll find out in a little bit. Not so much. So they're building up this big tag main event. They're building up that Austin and The Rock don't get along. They're literally just wrestled at WrestleMania and Backlash, and there's this big feud there. But then what's going on with Shane? He's really taking over for his father. That's like the whole point. And Vince literally exited because he was uncomfortable with Shane and the corporation.
Yeah. Wow. I got to go back and watch some of this stuff because there's a lot of it I don't remember.
So, do you like Shane as like the lead heel, or do you think that he's not long to be like the big boss, if you will? He's not going to be Vince as far as being the lead
Yeah, I
heel.
mean, nobody's ever gonna be Vince. I mean, ever, bro. But this is probably the closest thing or the next best thing. You know what I'm saying? So, and Shane was good, bro. I've talked about this before, man. He was really, really good. He was never gonna be Vince, but I think he was great in that role.
Man, he's hated too. He gets some good heat, and when
Yeah,
he gets beat up and stuff, man, like the crowd they love it. They love when
yeah,
he gets beat up.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so the first match up, the Blue Blazer with Deborah and Jeff Jarrett defeated Val Venus in about 2 minutes 20 seconds. Short match here. Deborah cheats. Jeff Jarrett cheats. That's how Blue Blazer ends up getting the victory. After the match, Val Venus is standing there. Nicole Bass comes out and chases him away. So Nicole Bass has a crush on Val. Val wants nothing to do with it. He kind of exits as she's going after him. But the kind of the big thing, Blue Blazer getting a big victory here. And obviously he's saying he's not Owen Hart, but the announcers keep saying, obviously this is Owen Hart.
Yeah, bro. What was the date of this again? This was
4/29/1999. April 29th.
1999. Okay, yeah, because I'm watching 98 now, and we're doing all the swerves and curves with, it's Blazer and Owen, and it's Blazer and Jarrett, and you don't know
Yes.
exactly who the Blazer is. So we're doing all that stuff now. Yeah,
Dr. Tom is the Blazer at one
yeah,
point. Yeah, it's like all that stuff. Coco
yeah.
Beware is the Blazer at one point.
Funny, bro. Yeah,
Um, after that, after Nicole Bass kind of chases Val because he's scared, she's a big monster. He's not interested, but she likes him sexually. So, like, she's going to chase him off. And Godfather comes out and he basically is there to claim Deborah because few weeks earlier he beat Jeff Jarrett, which means Deborah had to become a hoe.
oh wow.
Jarrett's not letting it happen. So Godfather comes out to claim his hoe, Deborah, and Blue Blazer and Jeff Jarrett 2-on-1 end up beating him up and they escape with
Wow,
Deborah. So a
there's
lot of heat on Jarrett and Blue Blazer here.
yeah, and a lot of storylines all over the place, bro. You got Nicole Bass, and now Deborah the Hoe. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Now, it just seems like when you were writing, everybody had a storyline. Like you
Yeah,
just mentioned, like Nicole Bass has a storyline, Val Venus. Is that important that everybody is a part of the
yeah,
show?
bro. I write Rocky Mountain Pro today, and I do the same exact thing, bro. You need everybody to be a moneymaker. Everybody needs, because, bro, the more people they want to pay to see, the more people's going to watch the show. It's that simple. So like if you've got a family of four and this guy's a fan of the Godfather, this guy's a fan of Val Venus, this guy's a fan of, Jeff Jarrett. Bro, you want to get everybody over. You want everybody to have drawing power. The more people that are over, the more people are going to watch the show. That will never ever change. They don't handle it like that today. I still handle it like that today.
I like that philosophy because I feel like won't everyone backstage have a higher morale that they all have something going on in
Absolutely,
the show?
bro. Absolutely. The more people that are doing something, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Yep. Bro, I like I said, I work indie today with the Rocky Mountain. There are no jobbers. Everybody's a somebody, bro. Everybody on that card means something.
So they have The Rock backstage. He's talking about the tag team main event, just real quick, talking about how he has the team with Austin. Then Kevin Kelly's backstage with Blue Blazer. Very funny interview because Kevin Kelly is like kind of angry. He's like, "I know it's you, Owen," and he's like, "It's not Owen. Where is Owen? I don't know where that guy is." Like just very funny. And he said the WWE or WWF at this point, he said they're deplorable. Look at you got a guy. I'm not even going to say his last name, but Val. He was, who I just beat. He goes, and what his last name rhymes with. He's just ripping on certain things. And he says,
Yeah,
say your prayers, take your vitamins, drink milk.
yeah,
Woo!
yeah.
Like he's just very funny, very good promo.
Bro, where do you find this show? Is it on the Peacock under
Yes.
SmackDown? A
Yep.
Peacock on okay, I got to go
So
on.
I hate the way Peacock sets it up though, because you got to go SmackDown to episodes, and then you got to go to quote unquote first season. So you got to go all the way down, and then you click on first season, and then you go all the way to the first episode. So it's weird. You can't just like put it in. You have to search through the episodes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which I guess is okay, but it's just weird the way they have it set up. It should be simpler, but
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be weird, bro, because like, do you think there's gonna be an issue with, bro, like bro, they were always getting Raw for free. Do you think there's gonna be an issue whatsoever? Is now, you gotta pay for Peacock, to get the pay-per-views, and now you've got to pay for Netflix to get wrestling. Do you think that's gonna hurt the overall viewership?
I don't know. It seems like so many people now have Netflix. I forget what the number is, but it's like an astronomical amount that you would kind of be surprised to actually have Netflix. But I
Yeah.
know people that don't have Netflix, and they were saying that they don't have plans on getting it. So I feel like you will lose some viewers because people don't want to pay for the service, or they just don't have it, or they don't want Netflix. I feel like if it's for free and it's on TV, more people could
Oh
see it.
yeah.
Even if you want to watch it like on DVR or something, people could just watch it. Netflix, I don't know how they're going to do that if
Yeah,
people don't have
that's
the
why,
service.
like, I'm just thinking of like, people in like, rural areas and whatnot that are big wrestling fans and literally might not have it, just might not have the money to pay for it. Like
Yep.
that's what I'm talking about. But I guess when you're getting guaranteed money from Netflix, that doesn't matter. What does it matter to the WWE? Don't matter.
No, they might not care about what the ratings are. Although I don't even think Netflix gives out ratings. They give out this weird thing where it's like hours watched for some reason.
Yeah.
They don't give you specific ratings. So maybe they don't care because they're getting that money. But you're right. There's going to be people that where it's not quite, they think streaming is the future, which it probably is, but they're not quite there yet. It's probably
Yeah.
50-50 with
Yeah.
streaming and cable right now. But what about that 50% that has cable that's not going to get it, or they don't do streaming, or they don't want to get Netflix? So yeah, I think they're probably going to lose some viewers,
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
but it's all about the money.
It's all about the money, bro. Yeah.
So Blue Blazer, any like big push? It seems like obviously he's going to be feuding with Godfather for the Intercontinental title, but any plans on him getting a big push, or is just like kind of like a comedic character that's not going to
Yeah,
be?
he's kind of in the same spot Jeff's in. You know what I'm saying, bro? Just very, very talented performers that are always going to, have a spot on the show, that are always going to be on the pay-per-view. Bro, they're like, any sports teams. You got your superstars, then you got your everyday players that are essential to the team, but they're not the superstars. And I think that's where these guys fit in.
So then Big Show is up next. He's going to end up defeating Test in a bit of a squash match, basically 45 seconds. Um, Test, who literally just got kicked out of the corporation by the big boss man. Boss man comes out to the ringside, kind of a distraction, but not really. Big Show just squashes him. I actually was kind of surprised. Big Show was really over. I know it's a squash and that kind of helps, but he did a drop kick and the crowd went nuts. Then he hit him with the choke slam. So basically, just a squash here for Big Show, keeping him strong.
Was this? Oh yeah, so this is way before the Test and Stephanie angle, right?
Almost going to be leading into that with this
Okay,
angle.
okay,
So
yeah.
almost headed towards there, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess the squash is part of turning Test babyface for that angle, I would assume. Yeah.
And it's funny because Michael Cole mentions on commentary how Shane is getting rid of guys he doesn't like. And obviously that's going to be one of Shane's next feuds, Test. So like you're building it up a little bit,
Yeah.
like as far as Shane's like, I don't like this guy. I want him out of the corporation. Well, Boss Man like kicks him out because Shane wanted him out. So Cole's mentioning that Shane doesn't like this guy.
Yeah, that all makes sense. He what a nice guy he was, bro. So sad, man.
What did you think about him? Like, it's just as far as the talent. I know, like, your quote unquote Motley Crue's bodyguard was the gimmick at one point. But what did you think about him? Like, did you think main eventer? What you like his look? What did you think about Test?
I don't know if I ever thought main event. Definitely had a cool look. See, bro, I'm always looking for the cool look because everybody wants to be the cool guy. I don't care how young you are or how old you are. Everybody wants to be the cool guy, and he definitely had a cool look about him.
Big Show here. Any thought on doing more with him, or he's an ex WCW guy? We can't really push him to the moon. You know what I mean? That Vince
I
moniker.
don't know, bro, because didn't Vince give him like a 10-year contract or something?
Oh
Is
yeah,
that
and
yeah? So
yeah.
I don't think Vince was looking at him that way as an ex WCW guy. I think he was too big, he was too unique, and Vince had way too much money invested in him. I don't think Vince was looking at that.
But it's interesting on the build up to WrestleMania 15, a huge Raw match. I mean, it drew great ratings, but Austin beats him. So it's almost like, is he trying to put him in his place a little bit, like having him lose immediately?
I don't think he's trying to put him in his place, bro. I just think that Vince is still looking at Austin as a bigger draw than the Big Show. And Austin being the bread and butter, and I agree with that. I mean, no doubt Big Show was an attraction and he was awesome, but at that time, like, I don't care who you were, you weren't touching Austin, man.
Wouldn't it be smarter to build that up for a pay per view though, instead of like a Raw match? You know what I mean? Like he could have been Vince's bodyguard or his number one guy, and then you build that up a little bit. How come like almost immediately, and then you turn him babyface? What was like the thought process there?
Well, it depends where the Monday Night War was at the time, bro. I'd have to know where we were compared to them. If it was for a number and we needed to gain some ground and momentum, that's why we did it. Always knowing we could come back to it and make it mean just as much.
Oh, you guys are killing him at this point. But it was a part of the build up to WrestleMania 15. So
Yeah,
you're trying to obviously build up WrestleMania
yeah,
and make it a huge show.
yeah,
And The Rock was still the heel, so he's the number one guy in the corporation. So
yeah,
and it would have been interesting if they built up Big Show a little bit more for Austin. To me,
yeah.
anyway, I would have liked
Yeah,
it instead of
I
him
know,
just
I
beating him
agree
then
with
and
that.
there.
I don't have any arguments for that. I agree with that.
Speaking of Steve Austin and The Rock, they come out for an in-ring promo. The Rock comes out first, and Austin comes out. They tease some tension between them. Austin basically says, "You're just a guy I'll always think of as this punk kid that loves to do nursery rhymes." So nice little shot by Austin to The Rock.
Yeah, man. When you watch that stuff closely, man, there's always shots like that. There's always if you were working there and you knew what was really going on, there's always shots like that, bro. I mean, my God, bro, I was just watching the early exchanges between Vince and Shane. Man, they were dropping a lot of reality bombs, during those freaking promos, and you could tell how real that stuff was to Shane, man.
I love it. I
I'll
love that
never
stuff.
forget, bro. I'll never forget. Like, Shane was telling me one time, like, he was hanging out with his friends. It might have even been Pete Gas and Rodney and whatever, and they freaking did something, man. And Vince was really, really, really hot. And he said Vince went after him and basically, bro, took the front door, Vince, and ripped the front door off its hinges to
Whoa.
get to freaking Shane. And I remember Shane telling me that story, and I'm like, oh my God, bro, like what else did he do? You know what I mean? So when you see Shane cut that very first promo, it's like there was a lot of meat to that promo, bro.
So during this promo, Shane McMahon ends up coming out, talks about the tag title match. The Undertaker side by side with him. That was weird. He was on the Tron earlier. He's with him side by side. Then the corporation, the ministry comes out. This is a huge storyline because Shane says, by the way, now this huge group here is now known as the corporate ministry. Did you
Interesting.
like the corporate ministry? Do you like the way you're setting it up here with them coming out on the ramp? I mean, what do you think? Too many guys in the group?
Yeah, I got to tell you, bro, I wasn't a big fan of the corporate ministry. Maybe when I go back and watch these shows, because I watch a show every 2 weeks for, Russo's brand. Maybe when I watch it again, I'll feel differently. I was never, I wasn't a big fan of the corporation. I wasn't a big fan of the ministry. I got to go back and watch it again to kind of, revisit it and try to really understand why I felt that way.
I guess you're trying to like up the stakes and make it really seem like, wow, now they got these two groups together with Shane at the helm. There's no way anybody could beat them. I guess that's the direction.
I think, bro, I'm feeling there's a lot of people in there that shouldn't be in there. And that's the problem, bro. Like when you have such big stars in there, it's hard for some people not to feel like a second banana. I mean, like what they just did on Raw. Bro, I've been saying for months and months and months and months and months, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley were the money. You take them out of that group, you got a group of jobbers, bro. And like that's exactly what it is now. So again, when you look at these groups and you take out a Taker or you take out a Rock, like what's really left and what are we looking at? I think that's what I felt,
Yeah, the corporation without the Rock is like, whew,
That's what I'm saying.
you got nobody in there.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
exactly what I'm saying, bro. Yeah.
So obviously they're now the corporate ministry, which is a big storyline for the show, but that's
Bro,
going
do
to
you
be
still watch
a big part
Raw?
of the main event. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think I'm going to do, because it's been bothering me lately. I think I'm going to do an entire show. Bro, what's with Finn Balor's haircut? Like what kind of a haircut? Like
I don't know.
he's got
Weird.
the worst haircut like I've ever seen I don't understand. I need to
So you're
break
going
it
to do a
down.
show about haircuts?
I'm going to do just his. Just
Oh,
his.
oh.
Yeah, because I don't know why you would walk around with that haircut. I don't know. It's either it's either short or grow it out. It's one of the two. But he's got like this bold cut, like, bro, look is so freaking important. Look is so important. That's why I said to you, bro, when you look cool, that is such a freaking advantage to you. When you look like you don't belong, that's a disadvantage to you. Bro, I'll tell you, like when I happened to watch Baron Corbin when he was at NXT, that was a cool look, bro. When Baron Corbin had the long hair and he was menacing, he reminded me of like De Niro in Cape Fear.
Yep.
And then he goes to WWE, he shaves his hair, and I'm like, bro, look matters, man. It really means a lot. And I don't think a lot of wrestlers in the WWE take that seriously.
Now moving on to the next match, D'Lo Brown with Ivory defeats Draws with Prince Albert via DQ. After the match, Albert and Draws try to beat up D'Lo. Mark Henry makes the save. So again, you're kind of giving all these guys storylines and giving them feuds that keeping them,
Yeah, no, bro,
afloat.
it's like you said, it's very important for everybody to feel like a part of it, especially when you're, really being successful. You want everybody to feel like they're a part of that success.
Then Kane and X-Pac, the WWF Tag Team Champions, defeat the New Age Outlaws in about 7 minutes to retain their tag titles. They do tease some tension with X-Pac and Kane, and then obviously some real tension with Road Dogg and Billy Gunn as well, because Road Dogg and Billy Gunn backstage are arguing, and they had to be broken up by the agent. So a lot of tension being teased here. X-Pac and Kane kind of, as they're kind of figuring each other out, I guess it's kind of one of those weird tag teams. David and Goliath a little bit, uncomfortable. Like, are they going to get along? Are they not? Just a lot of tension was teased in this match.
Yeah, bro. Man, sometimes I forget because I just watched the match this weekend. Sometimes I forget how good X-Pac was, man. I saw a match this past weekend where I guess on Sunday Night Heat, Undertaker came out and attacked X-Pac. So X-Pac challenges him to a match the next night on Raw. This was the match, bro, where Kane went to throw the fireball in Taker's face and it caught X-Pac.
Yep.
Bro, watching X-Pac sell his ass off to Taker. I mean, it literally looked like Taker was beating the ever-living shit out of him. That's the thing, bro, like that I'm starting to see more and more and more. Bro, you could talk about the different styles of work back then compared to now. And bro, take all the flip-flop and flying and all that shit and put it aside. Bro, when I watched the Attitude Era on Sunday and then I watch Raw on Monday, this is the biggest glaring difference to me. When I watch the Attitude Era, bro, every match looks real. I don't care who's in the ring. They look like they're beating the shit out of each other. I'm 63 and I'm watching it and I'm thinking they're beating the shit out of each other. Then you go to Monday night, bro, and you don't believe any of it. It's so fake and it's so phony and the punches suck and the leg slapping. And to me, that's the greatest difference over the last 25 years of how it was once so believable. And now, especially if you're a casual fan, bro, you don't believe any of this stuff.
Very funny little segment happens next. Maybe a bit of a rib, if you will. So Michael P.S. Hayes, Doc Hendricks, in the ring. He calls out the Brood. They're cutting a promo. Not a very strong promo. Gangrel, not that great. Christian doesn't talk, and Edge comes on. Very, like, he's just saying corny, cliche lines. Maybe you wrote them for him or not, but like it was very generic. Not so great. He's saying like, "Oh, we're like creatures of the night," and just like using like very generic lines. You could tell Gangrel maybe not that comfortable on the mic, or not. Maybe that's not a strong suit. Edge, you could tell, not used to cutting promos maybe this early on in his career. But the whole thing was Michael Hayes was in a very like white or tan color outfit. So something's going to happen with that outfit. You have a feeling. So he says to the Brood that they're just playing characters. They're not real. They're not really into this stuff. But so the Brood beats him up, of course, bloodbath, and his white or tan outfit, whatever it was, is completely from head to toe ruined with blood. Rib on Doc Hendricks at all, or just trying to get the Brood over?
It's not a rib. It's the other way around. It's the other way around, bro. Bro, every time, whoever it was, bro, and you can go back throughout history and watch this, when somebody's going to get color, they're always dressed in white, bro. Yeah. Always. Like you can so this isn't a rib. This is old school Michael Hayes. Bro, you recently saw this, like, because I had a chuckle because it was our boy Double J. And God bless Double J, like still going, like, my God, I DM'd Karen this past week. I'm like, I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how, bro, when me thinking about Jeff's schedule at his age, never in a million years, John, I swear to you, bro, you can start with $1 million. I swear to you, I would turn it down. So I'm amazed by what this guy is doing. But John, I popped huge. Bro, do you remember Flair's farewell match?
Yeah.
And remember they did the angle and they attacked him. Remember that?
Yep.
What was Karen dressed in?
Yes.
A white gown, bro.
Yeah,
And that's just old school freaking Jeff. They still do that. And I think that's great. I think it's absolutely great. So yeah, it wasn't a rib. He definitely knew he was getting the bloodbath and he's wearing the appropriate clothes.
Okay. It was obviously really good because he's just like completely red
Yeah,
after the bloodbath and he's
yeah,
pissed. Obviously, they're not just playing, you know what I mean? They're really nuts with the blood. Michael
yeah,
Cole's like they really psychologically mess with their victims. It was like he was
yeah.
what he was trying to get over.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'd be interested. I would bet because I'm not 1,000% sure. I would bet 99.99999%. Obviously, bro, all of this came from Carrie. There's no question about it.
Yeah,
I guarantee you in that movie, Sissy Spacek is wearing a white gown. Without a shadow of a doubt, she's wearing a white gown.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes. So then Ken Shamrock is backstage. He's got a promo on Bradshaw talking about the street fight, obviously referring back to Backlash, where he thinks Bradshaw cost him the world heavyweight title.
Wow, bro, you want to talk about
Or not the title, it cost him a match with The Undertaker.
you want to talk about watching two guys beat the shit out of each other. I guarantee you that's what this is going to be.
Yes. So the street fight, Ken Shamrock beats Bradshaw about 4 minutes, but it's pretty vicious. They're using the baseball bat. They're really beating the hell out of each other. Shamrock chokes him out for the win and then
Wow.
snaps afterwards and beats up Sergeant Slaughter as
Wow.
well.
Yeah. I just watched, bro. And I know you remember all this shit. I know you do. I just watched, bro, the Raw right before the Rock turn. And one of the matches, bro, remember Vince gives Mick a makeover? Remember, bro,
Yes.
Mick
Yes.
wrestles in the tuxedo and he's cleanly shaven.
And the
Bro,
hair, yeah.
there was a hardcore match with Mick and Shamrock. Bro, I don't know how they walked after that match. That's what I'm talking about. They were literally freaking killing each other throughout that entire match, man. So I can't imagine. I got to see this Shamrock Bradshaw.
Pretty damn stiff. I mean, it's short, but it's pretty stiff for what it is.
That's why
Chokes.
it's probably short.
He chokes out Bradshaw, which is kind of like, okay, choked him out, but he didn't really give up. So were you guys planning like maybe doing something with Bradshaw here? Because he
Yeah,
ended up looking pretty tough.
just protecting him. Definitely just protecting him. Yeah, yeah.
So Mankind is backstage doing an interview with Kevin Kelly. He's in the boiler room and he's talking about his match later on with the Big Boss Man. So what I noticed here, it's a 2 hour show, but there are so many different things going on. You're your Crash TV, if you will. You're doing this. The matches are short. Then you have the backstage. Then that you know what I mean. You have a lot going on with this
That's
show.
what I'm telling you, John. Like we put so much effort into writing these shows. Not like the shows you watch today. We put so much effort into it. And that's why when all of a sudden he drops on us, there's going to be another show. That was the concern with me and Ed, because we were so proud of our work. We knew, bro, it's going to lack now. You just can't write 5 hours of this kind of television every single week. It's impossible, bro. Or 4 hours. Raw was 2 hours. 4 hours.
Yep. When you look at though, like right, you guys just thought it was a one-off. You could write this one show. It'll bleed into the storylines of what's going on, and then we move back on to Raw, right? I mean, and the pay-per-views and going there.
Yeah.
So with this SmackDown, everybody's on it. I mean, obviously Austin and Rock are in the main event. I mean, everybody is on the show. You all guys are trying to make everything seem important. Do you think the time, the matches, the time, do you think that matters at all? Because it's pretty short for the most part.
I don't, John, I got to tell you something again. I hate to keep going back to the Attitude Era, but I mean, that's what I represent. Bro, when you go back and watch the Attitude Era, John, bro, there are like no clean finishes. None. Zero. And the people didn't give a shit, bro. They cared more about the story because, it was an F finish because of where it was going. And it blows my mind, bro. If you get one clean finish out of every show, that was a lot. And all you got to do is look at the crowd. They didn't care. And bro, my mentality has always been, if you are a casual wrestling fan, when a wrestling match starts, this is what's going through your mind immediately. Who's going over and what's next? That's what they want to know, bro. who's going over and what's next. So that's why it's quick.
So next up, we have Mankind versus Big Boss Man. Mankind gets the win. Match is literally a minute and 35 seconds, something like that. But a lot happens. Mankind defeats him thanks to not only Test, who came out there and made sure that Bossman
Bossman got a
wasn't going to
receipt.
leave.
Yeah.
Yep, got a little bit of a receipt. Big Show as well tosses him, literally picks him up over his head, tosses him over the top rope back in the ring. Mankind ends up getting the victory. So a little bit of a tease here with Big Show and Test kind of being on the same page and almost being on the same page as Mankind, but also everybody having an issue with the Big Boss Man as well. They don't like Boss Man. They don't like the corporation.
Yeah, I just watched that same episode. He cut a hell of a promo, bro. It was maybe the best promo I ever saw him cut because I think he wrestled Austin at the Deadly Games, right? That was the first round match, Austin and Boss Man.
Yep.
So this was the go home show. Bro, he cut the best promo I ever saw him cut, man. It was unbelievable.
Love me some Boss Man. It's just interesting that there's like three guys almost like kind of not feuding with him, but they all have an issue with him at the same time, all predicated around the corporation.
Yeah.
All right. So next up we have Billy Gunn, who attacks X-Pac backstage, and then Kane makes the save. What do you think here? Billy Gunn is having an issue with Road Dogg. I mean, obviously he's going to start to get a bit of a heel push by himself. Is that the direction here? You're basically having him feud with not everybody, but he's kind of the one creating all these problems.
Yeah, probably, bro, because they were baby faces for so long that we're probably gradually trying to turn him heel. So that's why he would be doing all things like this.
Then the main event of the evening here, Steve Austin and The Rock versus Triple H and Undertaker. Basically, Paul Bearer's out there, Pete Gas, Rodney, Shane McMahon, China. It's a lot of guys out by ringside, kind of stacking the deck against Austin and The Rock. But do you like that, though? All these guys out by ringside? It's almost, is it too much? You guys got too much going on here?
Well, bro, I always have a problem, bro. So I'm not going to give myself a pass. I am not going to give myself a pass. I always have a problem with why are these people allowed ringside? You know what I'm saying? I always have a problem with that. So yeah, bro, like I don't like that. I don't like that booking when you know somebody is going to get involved and interfere in the match and you allow them to stay. Now, if the sides are even, you know what I'm saying, bro, I can almost give that a pass. Like if if the baby faces, if in this case it's a 4-on-2 whatever, and now the baby faces bring some backup to the ring, and now you've got even sides. I don't have so much of a problem with that. I have a problem with when it's a 1-on-1 and one of the wrestlers is bringing one or two guys down to the ring with them, and those guys are allowed to stay there rather than the referee throw them to the back. I hate that, bro. And I always try not to book that way, man. I can remember specifically, like there was a spot where the heels were getting heat on a DX member, and I wanted them to get their heat. So what we did basically was trap them in their locker room by putting like a forklift in front of the door so they couldn't get out. So there was a reason why they weren't making a save. But one of the things I hate about wrestling so much, bro, is when they let the extra people down to the ring and it's lopsided, they're going to interfere. They do interfere and the ref does nothing. I hate that.
With this, Steve Austin and The Rock, obviously, they just were feuding. It's one of the best feuds, really, WWF. I mean, they were the two biggest guys you had. But now Rock is going to be a babyface. Why the change? Do you think he was just getting too over? Did you think the heel run was over with Austin? They got to move on to something else. What was the thought process behind
it? Was probably
baby?
The Rock, bro. And they did this a lot. They did this so much with freaking Cena, bro. Why are you going to fight an uphill battle? I mean, if the people want to cheer The Rock and The Rock is that, why are you gonna fight that? I mean, bro, there was so many times Cena should have turned heel.
Yeah.
Why are you going to fight them, bro? You're making your job so difficult. So Rock was getting super, super, super over, bro. There was no need to keep trying to force him down that heel road.
Is that a problem having the two biggest guys be baby faces? Because then it's hard to have heels, right? Or is it good to have your two top guys
Yeah,
be
not
baby
yeah, it
faces?
is good, bro. You just got to make the heels strong, man. You just got to make the heels really, really strong. That was never the issue, bro. It was never discussed. Wow, if Austin's a baby face and Rock is just as hot, we got to keep Rock a heel. That was never discussed. I mean, I told you, bro, the way I wrote these shows, it was always the flow of natural progression. That's how I always wrote this show. So I wasn't ignoring the fact that the people would turn to Rock babyface.
So no problem, like from Vince. He doesn't say, "Oh no, we need to keep him heel" or anything like that.
Never. No, never, never.
With The Rock, right? I mean, he is almost as over as Austin. Was that a surprise to you guys? That like, oh my god, like we have another Austin here,
Oh
like
yeah,
literally at the same time.
that was never planned on, bro. Bro, today they would probably put the kibosh on it because like people are allowed today to only go so far. I don't think that would happen today, but nobody saw that coming, bro.
Man, they're chanting Rocky like crazy, or if they're not chanting Rocky like crazy, they're chanting Austin like crazy. So he's right up there. Well, I mean, 1 and 2 with Austin, the big baby face. So
And
he
and
was
and
super over.
and again, bro, you want to be the cool guy. You want to be the cool guy, and both of these guys were so cool in their own way, and that's the guy you want to be, man.
So Steve Austin and The Rock end up defeating Triple H and The Undertaker via DQ because the corporate ministry all comes out. They all interfere. Then Test, Shamrock, Big Show, and Mankind come out and they fight off the corporate ministry. Vince McMahon ends up returning back to the building after he left earlier in the night. That the sympathetic babyface, he's back. He beats up Shane McMahon. Man, Undertaker gives him a chair shot. I don't know if you remember this. He gives Vince McMahon a chair shot, no protection whatsoever. Straight.
Oh my god,
Michael Cole even goes, "That's a concussion waiting to happen," or something in that vein. But he mentions like concussion. The chair indents in like around his head. Like you could tell it
bro!
was a vicious shot.
I just saw a recent Megan Kelly interview with Brett Favre. Bro, like Favre's a completely different guy now, and he's saying, bro, I guarantee you, I had 1,000 concussions during my career,
Wow.
and you could tell like he's slower. Like you could see the effects now they're taking on him. It's sad, bro. Again, we didn't know, man. Like we had no idea, bro, till that what was that name, bro? That football guy, the football doctor, that Will Smith.
Chris Nowinski.
No, Chris Smith. Remember?
Oh, that guy. Yes.
That was the
Yeah.
guy. I mean,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was the guy. Once that stuff came out, we were like, oh,
Yep.
bro, like we got to stop.
That was crazy because he doesn't even put his hand up. Nothing. He just literally almost gives him his head, and he just destroys it. He says he was like sacrificing himself for Steve Austin, since Steve Austin helped Stephanie, get not crucified by Undertaker.
Yeah.
So he basically was saying like he was sacrificing himself, but oh my god, he just like literally gives him his head, and Undertaker does not go easy on him. Like, oof.
God, bro, I can't imagine because I swear to God, bro, one time, Jeff gave me the guitar shot, and like I took it like right on the crown of my head here. That's where Jeff told me to take it. And bro, it knocked me for a loop. A freaking breakaway wooden guitar. I
Right.
can't imagine, bro. Can you? And who swung it?
Undertaker.
I can't imagine. I
So
can't
it's coming
imagine.
down from 6'10".
I can't imagine,
Yeah.
bro. I can't imagine the impact of that. I can't imagine, bro. I really don't. That's why I could never do what they do. I could never do that, bro.
It was quite a shot. Crowd obviously went nuts for it. Austin comes back in. I know that it's a DQ finish, but after the match is over, there's like more action than when the match is going on. It's actually better afterwards. Austin gives Undertaker the stunner. Shane McMahon's back in. He turns around. Shane McMahon gets a stunner. The crowd goes wild. Austin drinks beer to end the show. And then Austin, as he's drinking the beer, Vince is obviously knocked out. He pours beer on Vince's head, and Vince wakes up.
Bro, I swear to the boys, bro, that was their favorite part when the show was over. When the show was over and we weren't on the air, and they keep feeding and keep
Yep.
that was their favorite part of the show. Austin pouring the beer on Vince is a 1,000% rib. 1,000%. Bro, they loved that part of the show when they knew, okay, bro, we're done. And now they're just playing to the house. Oh my God, they were like kids. They loved that, but they especially loved feeding the baby face for the finish 18,000 times, bro.
So here, basically, Vince is still babyface. Shane, the corporate ministry, is established. What do you think about the show? It's much more story, and like I mentioned, the matches, the only long match was
we're
the
going
tag match.
balls to the wall. We're going balls to the wall because this is a special show. I mean, no doubt about it, bro. Once in a while, bro, you'll have those really, really, really special shows. Like, to me, another one that immediately comes to mind was when TNA decided to go head to head with Raw. Bro, you're going to go balls to the wall. And we were probably looking for a deal with UPN. I'm sure that's what was going on. But yeah, and bro, that's, I talk about that all the time. You got to seize opportunities like this. You got to seize the Raw after WrestleMania. You got to seize that opportunity. And a lot of times, man, they just leave that fruit hanging from the tree. And then the next week, they're right back where they were.
So, I mean, Kane and X-Pac, obviously, that's a bit of a storyline. The Outlaws really breaking up. I mean, that's the storyline. The corporate ministry has been established. Rock and Austin, still some tension there. And obviously, they're good promo back and forth in the ring, taking shots at each other. So that's going on. Vince is the baby face, and he's feuding with Shane, but something's going on with him and Austin. He's sacrificing himself for Austin. So what's really going on? So it does feel like very
Yeah.
much storyline driven. Just everybody's got something and going in a
Yeah.
certain direction.
Hey, John, how many matches did Vince have with Shane?
Ooh, I don't know. A couple.
Was it okay? But there wasn't a lot, was there?
No, I just remember, like, obviously the big one was WrestleMania 17. So I don't think it was like many matches, but they probably had a couple, if I
Yeah,
can remember.
yeah. I never saw that WrestleMania 17 match. How was it?
It was good, but it was all like people
Gimmicks?
interfering and
Yeah,
gimmicks and Trish
yeah,
Stratus and Mick Foley. And yeah,
yeah,
it was all gimmick, but it was pretty good. Shane taking crazy bumps, Vince taking crazy bumps, but it was, it is what it is. It was almost like, what do you call it? Like when they really just kind of go all out with the match, but that the two guys aren't necessarily good workers. It's like all the outside interference.
yeah.
It's all like, all show. Everything's going on around them. A lot of gimmicks.
That's what Pat Patterson would call the Zabada. That's what he would call that, the Zabada.
Oh, interesting. WrestleMania 17 itself, though, was a very good show. Austin Rock at the main event. Yeah, good show. One of the
Yeah.
best Manias, maybe.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, bro. When I went to when I stopped working for them, there was a years and years and years and years. I did not watch one single Raw for
Wow.
years. I didn't watch any of that. What was it? The aggressive? What was it?
Ruthless aggression.
I never saw Punk's run. I never saw when Orton came in. I never saw Cena's run. I didn't. All of that, bro. I didn't see. I swear, bro. It was probably a good 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you bitter at all?
No, I wasn't. I was just too busy writing another show. I mean, I was just so wrapped up with whatever company I was working with that I didn't. I just didn't watch their product.
So SmackDown #1, technically speaking, obviously it's going to really launch and really have the first episode August 26, 99, but 5.8 rating was huge. So let's hit the plugs and head towards the finish here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at 2Man Power Trip. Vince, what do you got going on?
Yeah, guys, if you want a sample of that Attitude Era show, man, if you're not a Patreon member, all you got to do right now is go to patreon.com/Russo TWC. You can get a free week of the brand, man. So you could sample all the shows. If you like it, then you could sign up. Just go to patreon.com/Russo TWC.
All right. Thank you, everybody out there, for tuning in. See you right back here next time for the next podcast. We'll see you then, folks.